Hello there, you're watching News at 10 on Rajya Sabha TV with me, Aishwarya Kapoor. Well, it is the last week of the monsoon session of Parliament and the GST Bill will be tabled in the Lok Sabha today. That is the big story this morning. Also, we'll get you all the updates from Rio Olympics. Now, India might not have bagged any medals so far, but Deepa Karmakar has vaulted into history. She has become the first ever Indian to enter the apparatus finals. On the details on that as well, let's take a look at the other stories in the headlines. GST Bill to be tabled in Lok Sabha today. Prime Minister likely to intervene during debate. Prime Minister's strong message calling for protection of Dalits, asks people to stop playing politics, says those who have a problem should attack him. Flood situation grim in Jammu. 3 people killed and 7 injured after house collapses following overnight rainfall. Amarnath and Vaishno Devi pilgrimages suspended. Big jolt to the Congress-led UDF in Kerala. 3-decade-old partner KM Mani quits coalition. Alleges some Congress leaders are trying to consciously weaken his party. And Deepa Karmakar scripts history, becomes first Indian to make cut for individual world finals in debut Olympic Games. Women's archery team crashes out of tournament. Hockey squad holds Japan to a draw. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called for the protection of Dalits from cow vigilance. Now addressing BJP workers in Hyderabad on Sunday, Prime Minister Modi said that he is ready to get shot and attacked in place of Dalits. Now, stressing that society should not be allowed to be divided on the basis of caste and community, Modi asked people to stop politics over Dalits and protect Dalits and other exploited sections of the society. Earlier at Medak, he made scathing comments about fake cow protectors, saying that they were dividing the nation and should be isolated and punished. The Prime Minister's comments came at a time when the NDA government is facing flack over the incidents of violence against Dalits and Muslims by cow vigilance in states including Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh.
दलित भाइयों पर वार करना बंद कर दीजिए। वार करना है तो मुझ पे कीजिए, गोली चलानी है तो मुझ पे चलाइए, मेरे दलित भाइयों पर मत चलाइए। जो लोग इस सामाजिक समस्या का समाधान चाहते हैं, उनसे मेरी करबद्ध प्रार्थना है कि समाज में बिखराव पैदा करने वाली राजनीति का रास्ता छोड़ दें। समाज को तोड़ने वाली राजनीति से देश का भला नहीं होगा।
Meanwhile, the opposition has termed the Prime Minister's statement on cow vigilance as hypocritical. Now, Congress leader Manish Tewari questioned Modi's silence on the Dadri lynching incident last year and alleged that the Prime Minister was selective in his outreach. Now, the Janata Dal United also said that the Prime Minister's statement has come in very late, and if he had given a stern message earlier, the Gaurakshak menace would have been prevented.
Open support provided by Mr. Modi and his government that lumpenism in the name of the cow has reached such endemic proportions. Where was the Prime Minister when Ikhlaq was lynched to death in Dadri? Whatever the Prime Minister says today is absolutely humbug and it is completely sanctimonious.
A man called Muhammad Akhlaq was lynched in public by a mob of cow vigilantes or Gaurakshaks almost a year ago in September 2015. If the Prime Minister had given the same message then, we would have not seen this menace of Gaurakshaks spreading on a pan-Indian scale.
News from Parliament now, and the GST Bill will be taken up in the Lok Sabha today. The bill virtually has the backing of all political parties. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley will move the bill after amendments made by the Rajya Sabha last week. The bill was passed by the lower house last year. The Rajya Sabha has approved amendments which now need to be cleared by the Lok Sabha. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is likely to intervene during the debate on the bill in the Lok Sabha. GST, the biggest economic reform since 1991, will replace a raft of different state and local taxes with a single unified value-added tax system to turn the country into the world's biggest single market. The Congress has said that the party will support the bill and has also issued a whip to all its MPs to be present in the lower house today. The GST bill has to be ratified by at least 16 states in 30 days after it is passed by Parliament.
बिल को तो हम सपोर्ट करेंगे, लेकिन उसमें जो खामियां हैं या जो कुछ भी हमारे कांग्रेस के नेताओं ने वहाँ पर उठाए हैं, उन चीज़ों को यहाँ पर फिर हम उठाकर जनता को ये बताना चाहते हैं कि जो हमने आज तक कोशिश जो की इस बिल में थोड़ी सी तब्दीली लाने के लिए और उसमें जनहित में बदलने के लिए, उन चीज़ों पे हम फिर से एक बार यहाँ पर लोकसभा में रखेंगे.
Meanwhile, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has said that the Indian economy has defied global slowdown and geopolitical tensions and is now poised to seize opportunity to grow faster. Jaitley also credited an aspirational society for forcing politicians to support reforms. He said that the whole world is in a slowdown mode in which if a country is growing by 1.5 to 2%, it has a sense of satisfaction that it is not in a negative zone. He added that India has defied the trend. He, however, regretted that while the developed world has been able to control population surge, India has been missing on the population stabilization target.
Countries are resorting to desperate measures. Negative interest rates, negligible interest rates, competitive devaluation of economies, of currencies, because they want to grow. Many are in a de-acceleration mode, some are in an extremely slowdown mode. Job losses are taking place. Some other parts of the world are affected by geopolitical factors, the refugees. India, of course, is defying that trend. For the first time in history, we are coming out much better than the rest of the world.
And Commerce and Industry Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has asserted that a drop in outbound shipments have bottomed out and exports are likely to see gradual improvement in the near term. Now, India's merchandise exports expanded for the first time in 18 months in the month of June, snapping a downward spiral that lasted 1.5 years. Exporters have heaved a sigh of relief as exports have returned to growth after 18 months. Government expects the exports to pick up as it has taken a number of steps like promoting access to new products and finding new geographical areas to boost exports.
Well, certainly we had sensed that the fall had been arrested and we were hoping that the rise would be visible. I've been cautious about saying that this rise will be slow, but steadily it will increase. So we are happy that exporters' efforts are getting rewarded. The government is trying to facilitate. We are extending all kinds of help. We are willing to do more. We want our exporters to feel at ease.
The road, however, seems long. Though the positive growth has instilled optimism among exporters, global scenario remained challenged. The European Union is also coping with the after effects of Brexit, and EU is India's largest single export market with a population of nearly 500 million.
Last 4-5 months there has been huge hue and cry because the prices have moved up after being on a lower side for last 7 years, and I think in November to February the imports has gone up by around 300%. So this is very, very worrying sign, and I think the way forward on a sustainable basis would be to look for a modernization of technology in the sectors.
India's merchandise exports rose 1.2% year-on-year in June to $22.7 billion, revising a trend that started in December 2014 due to a weak global demand and a fall in commodity prices. The key sectors which are still showing negative growth include pharmaceuticals, some agri-products and textiles. This is Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV. And Union and Textiles Minister Smriti Irani has urged people to use handloom products so that lakhs of weavers could benefit. Now, speaking on the National Handlooms Day In Varanasi on Sunday, Irani urged the retail chain owners, e-commerce websites and fashion designers to provide a platform to weavers to sell their products. Irani pushed for providing education to the children of weavers through IGNOU and other institutions of open learning, and also announced a helpline number for addressing the grievances of weavers.
जी ने राष्ट्र के इतिहास में पहली बार राष्ट्रीय हैंडलूम दिवस की स्थापना की घोषणा की। उनका ये प्रयास था कि हमारे जो बुनकर भाई और बहन हैं उन्हें उनकी प्रतिभा के लिए सही मोल भी मिले, साथ ही प्रशिक्षण के माध्यम से उनके कौशल्य का वर्धन भी हो। बनारस में हमने बुनकरों के लिए विशेष रूप से 6 कॉमन फैसिलिटी सेंटर्स को यहाँ स्थापित किया और बुनकरों को अर्पित किया।
News from the state of Kerala. Well, the Congress-led UDF has suffered a big blow in the state. Now, its key partner, Kerala Congress M, led by former Finance Minister of the state, K.M. Mani, has snapped ties with it. The decision was taken after a crucial 2-day meeting of the Kerala Congress M. The party chief, Mani, also launched a scathing attack on the Congress, alleging that some of the party leaders had consciously made efforts to weaken Kerala Congress Mani. He, however, added that while it is leaving the UDF, it will provide issue-based support to the Congress-led UPN Parliament. Mani also said that his party will neither go to the LDF nor the BJP NDA camp. Now, reacting to the development, the Congress called it unfortunate.
കേരള കോൺഗ്രസ് എമ്മിനെ ദുർബലപ്പെടുത്തുക എന്ന ഗൂഢലക്ഷ്യത്തോടെ പാർട്ടിയെയും പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് പാർട്ടി ലീഡറെയും കടന്നാക്രമിക്കുന്നതിനും അപകീർത്തിപ്പെടുത്തുന്നതിനും കോൺഗ്രസിലെ ചില കേന്ദ്രങ്ങൾ ബോധപൂർവം നടത്തിയിട്ടുള്ള ശ്രമങ്ങളെ പാർട്ടി ഗൗരവത്തോടെ കാണുന്നു.
This will not affect Congress or Congress-led United Front. We will try our best to expand our political base by taking up public issues, the problems of the people.
News from Gujarat. Well, Vijay Rupani was sworn in as the new Chief Minister of the state on Sunday, while Nitin Patel took oath as the Deputy Chief Minister. A host of top BJP leaders were present at the swearing-in ceremony. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also extended his best wishes to the new Council of Ministers in his home state.
Vijay Bhai Ramaniklal Rupani.
The new Chief Minister of Gujarat, Vijay Rupani, took oath of office on Sunday along with his deputy Nitin Patel at a grand ceremony in Gandhinagar's Mahatma Mandir. The top leaders of BJP, including veteran L.K. Advani, were present at the oath ceremony. Chief Ministers of BJP-ruled states of Maharashtra, Jharkhand and Haryana were also present. Apart from the Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister, 7 cabinet rank ministers and 16 ministers of state were also sworn in. 9 ministers from former Chief Minister Anandiben Patel's council were dropped. The total size of the Council of Ministers, including the Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister, now stands at 25. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also extended his best wishes to Vijay Rupani and his new team. Vijay Rupani is the 16th Chief Minister of Gujarat. His elevation is being seen as a deft move by the BJP to avoid the impression of favouring any major segment of the society over others. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
In News at 10, we'll take a very short break. Stay with us.
The sacred relics of Buddha were unearthed in Piprava in Uttar Pradesh. Buddhist monks from all over the world visit the National Museum to pay their respects. These charred bone fragments of Buddha are housed in the gold canopy gifted by the royal family of Thailand.
Now, an update on the floods that have swept parts of the country. Over 300 people have died so far in the floods. Now, Bihar and Uttarakhand among the worst affected states, while the situation, however, in Assam has started improving. Meanwhile, the Vaishno Devi and Amarnath Yatra have been suspended after floods wreaked havoc in Jammu, killing 3 people.
After 2 years of consecutive droughts, rains this year have presented a different picture altogether. Incessant rainfall triggering floods wreaked havoc in many states, claiming lives of over 300 people, destroying property and standing crops, displacing lakhs of people and washing away houses. In Shimla, many houses, fields and apple orchards have been badly damaged due to cloudburst. A local school in Nanti village was also damaged after waters entered its building.
हमें यहाँ पर बहुत सारी समस्याओं का सामना करना पड़ रहा है। विद्यालय बुरी तरह क्षतिग्रस्त हो चुका है। यहाँ बैठने की व्यवस्था नहीं है। कमरों में पानी आता है, दूसरे कमरे में सैलाब आता है। पिछले वर्ष भी यहाँ विद्यालय की दीवार ढह गई थी।
The situation in Bihar still remains grim as 95 people have died in the state. 33 lakh people have been hit by the flood in 14 districts. 6 lakh hectare of land is inundated and 2 lakh hectare of crops has also damaged. However, in Assam, the flood situation showed considerable improvement as rains showed some sign of relief. The Brahmaputra and its tributaries are still flowing above the danger mark. Nearly 70,000 people are affected across 84 villages in 8 districts, and the death toll stands at 34 in Assam. Flood has wreaked havoc in Jammu following heavy rain, killing 3 people. 8 others were also injured in house collapse triggered by overnight rainfall. The Amarnath and Vaishno Devi pilgrimage have also been suspended.
सर हालत बहुत ही ख़राब हालत है, लोगों में बहुत ज़्यादा दहशत है। जहाँ के मोस्टली लोग इसी पे निर्भर हैं, खेती पे निर्भर हैं, जहीं से जो आता है, और इस वक्त लगभग आधी से ज़्यादा ज़मीन उनकी साथ में बह गई है, और जो बचे हुए हैं वो भी इसी दहशत में हैं कि दरिया का पानी कभी भी आ सकता है।
Meanwhile, 2 more bodies have been found in search and rescue operations after a British-era bridge collapsed on Mumbai-Goa highway in Rajya district of Maharashtra, taking the death toll to 26. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, in Maharashtra, at least 8 people have been killed after a 2-story building came crashing down at Bhiwandi in Thane district of the state. Now, this incident comes a week after as many people lost their lives in a similar incident of house collapse in other area near Mumbai. The deceased include an elderly couple who owned a building and 6 members of a family living on the ground floor. Well, the 35-year-old building was declared most dangerous by the civic body. An NDRF team rushed to the spot to pull out bodies out of the debris. Now, according to spokesman for the civic body, the occupants had been served eviction notices, after which 2 of the around 5 to 6 families had vacated their accommodations. The water connection had been cut and the power supply was about to be snapped by the administration as the remaining occupants were not ready to leave. On to some international news, and Turkish President Recep Erdogan on Sunday told a vast rally in Istanbul that he would approve the return of death penalty if it was backed by parliament and the public. Now, Erdogan's remarks are designed to draw a line under the July coup attempt that has in fact resulted in a widespread arrest and also a purge of swathes of Turkey's civil service. Religious figures and leaders of 2 of Turkey's 3 opposition parties attended the rally. Erdogan also said that the state would be cleansed of all the supporters of the US-based cleric Fethullah Gulen. The cleric is blamed by the Turkish government for the attempted uprising. He, however, denies any involvement. Now, Western nations have been critical of the government's response to the coup. The European Union, which Turkey has applied to join, refuses to accept capital punishment in the member states.
Olumsuz karar verdiler. Aynı demokrasi. Ama Kandil'dekilere video konferansla yayın yaptırdılar.
And in a boost for the military in Thailand, a clear majority of voters have backed a draft constitution written by an army-appointed committee. Now, during a referendum, close to 61.45% voted in favor of the new constitution that aims to reduce the power of political parties and extend the influence of the military. Now, one of the most controversial clauses calls for the 250-seat Senate to be fully appointed by the military government. Thailand's biggest political parties, however, have rejected the constitution. The military in Thailand threw out the older constitution when it took control in 2014 after months of political uncertainty and sporadic violence. Now, supporters of the new document say that it will restore stability, but its critics say that it will entrench military control.
เราก็จะดำเนินการคัดค้านร่างนี้ต่อไปในข้อกฎหมายในมาตราที่มันไม่เป็นธรรมเนี่ยเราก็ยังจะคัดค้านยื่นขอการแก้ไข
ทหารทำปฏิวัติมากี่ครั้งนะเสียของมากี่ครั้งแต่ครั้งนี้ผมอยากให้ทหารทำอย่างสุดลิ่มทิ่มประตูไปเลยให้มันจบไปเลยว่า
Let's get you some more international stories in World Wrap. The death toll in Mexico's landslides and flooding has jumped to 38 after tropical storm Earls swept through the country's eastern regions. The state worst hit is Puebla, where 28 people died, at least 15 of them minors, as landslides buried several houses. Another 10 people were killed in the state of Veracruz, where rivers swelled with rainwater and dozens of families were evacuated. Scenes of rejoicing were witnessed in Syrian city of Aleppo as the rebel factions say that they have broken a weeks-long government siege. However, government forces say that they have not been pushed aside. Now, there were sporadic clashes and airstrikes on Sunday morning after the reported ending of the siege. Government forces cut Aleppo's rebel-held areas off in July, with some 250,000 people living under siege. The U.S. Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton is leading her Republican rival Donald Trump by 8 points, a latest opinion poll said on Sunday. In the latest poll, the Washington Post ABC News said that Clinton and her running mate Tim Kaine are now leading Trump and his running mate Mike Pence by 50 to 42% among registered voters. Now, this is double the lead Clinton had over Trump on the eve of Republican National Convention in Cleveland last month. Several people are feared dead in clashes in northwestern Ethiopia between police and anti-government protesters amid a wave of unrest. Authorities have banned demonstrations and blocked social media. Well, despite the ban, people took to the streets in several parts of the country for a third consecutive day on Sunday. The government has been facing protests from the two largest ethnic communities over alleged human rights abuses and other issues. Now to some news from Rio Olympics. Well, India's quest for a medal in Rio 2016 is still on, as it has not bagged a single medal in the competition on day 2 as well so far. But in some good news, gymnast Deepa Karmakar scripted history as she became the first Indian to make the cut for the individual vault finals in her debut Olympic Games after finishing 8th in the qualifying round. Now, Deepa managed to perform her much appreciated Prodonova vault cleanly to secure 14.85 points after 2 attempts. Earlier, Karmakar finished 4th event in artistic gymnastics with 12.033 in floor exercises. The vault final, however, will take place on 14th of August. An Indian women's hockey team showed a tremendous fighting spirit and came from 2 goals down to eke out a 2-all draw against Japan in their opening Pool B match on Sunday. India were trailing by 2 goals at half-time after world number 10 Japan scored through Emi Nishikori and Mi Nakashima. But Indians made a valiant fight back as Rani Rampal and Lilima Mins scored in the third quarter to secure the points for their side. However, the Indian women's recurve archery team was knocked out of the games after going down 4-5 to Russia in the quarterfinals. The quarterfinal tie was evenly poised after the 4 sets at 4-all. However, in the shoot-off, India lost to 23-25 that ended their Rio campaign. Earlier, India had edged out Colombia 5-3 to progress to the quarters. Also, the Indian shooters' unimpressive run continued unabated, with Hina Sindhu crashing out of the women's 10 meters air pistol qualification round by finishing way behind the leaders in the 14th position out of 44 competitors. Hina will now try to make amends when she competes in the 25 meters pistol event scheduled to be held on 9th of August. Let's take a look at some more events that made headlines at the Rio Games today. Well, Serena and Venus Williams lost for the first times in an Olympics doubles match, as their hopes of winning a fourth successive title were surprisingly ended in the first round itself. The American top seeds lost 6-3, 6-4 to Czech Republic's Lucy Safarova and Barbora Strykova, who were only paired together at the last notice. Also, in tennis, world number 1 Novak Djokovic crashed out in the first round of the men's singles event. Djokovic lost to Argentina's Juan Martín del Potro 7-6, 7-6 in straight sets. Earlier, Great Britain's men's doubles also of Andy Murray and Jamie Murray were knocked out by Brazilian pair of Thomas Bellucci and Andressa. In swimming, Michael Phelps won a record 19th Olympic gold medal as the US clinched the men's 4x100-meter freestyle relay title in Rio. Phelps has now won 23 medals at 5 games. He swam the second leg for the US, who won in a time of 3 minutes, 9.92 seconds, with France second and Australia securing the third place. Now, in the overall medal standings on day 2, India is yet to make a cut since they have not won a single medal in any event so far. Italy stood at the 4th spot with 2 golds, 3 silver and 2 bronze. Australia takes the 3rd spot with 3 gold and 3 silver, while China slipped to the 2nd spot after the United States bagged 2 golds in swimming. That's all in this edition of news. Coming up ahead is Parliament news in both Hindi and English. Thanks so much for watching.